Hello, and thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. I am Screen Scene Guru coming at you with another sports news topic. This is covering the Monday Night Raw episode we had on February 10th. So going into the match, I got a little bit of information pulled up on a screen right here. Um, so going into the introduction, we got to see Jay Uso doing his Yeet dance, his performance, of course, showing off, dancing all around the ring and on the announcement table with the sneak attack from Gunther, the ring general, really showing some disrespect, giving some jabs and some dirty underhanded moves, given that their rivalry has been going on hard this year in 2025. So we got to see the opening kind of dirty match there, with Gunther, of course, getting booed out of the stage, and a lot of people rooting behind Jey Uso, and Jey Uso even challenging him to WrestleMania. So really exciting things there. Of course, we've got to see who's all going to be up for the Elimination Chamber that is going to be coming up. We've got a few people that have already announced their names in the ring, such as John Cena. We got Drew McIntyre in there. And then, of course, I believe a few others as well. But going on into this match, we got to see Iko Sky and Dakota Kai defeat Liv Morgan and Rachel Rodriguez, which is a really cool fight. These ladies really gave it their all. I recommend you guys checking it out if you haven't already started this weekly saga that is WWE Raw. We get to see new fighters introduced, some familiar faces, some from past years ago. For instance, I'm not well too versed in all of the WWE Raw co-stars. I know of a few of them, such as Seth frickin' Rollins, a few others like Cody Rhodes and others. But newly into being a fan of Raw, we got to see a few faces return, including, let's see, we got AJ Styles, who got to return and make a big comeback. He seems like a great positive force to bring into Raw right now for their Monday night shows. We got to also see he got to talk smack with Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and I guess they set up a fight for this upcoming week on Monday night. So that's really cool to see. I'm looking forward to that fight because I think AJ has no problem taking on Dirty Dom Mysterio. So moving on from that, kind of a bit of scrap fighting and trash talking, and a little bit of behind the scenes drama as well. Um, we got to see as well Bailey go up against Lyra Valkyra, who was the women's international title holder. And we got to see Bailey dominate Lyra, even though they really both were besting each other in moves. There was a couple of times where Lyra had Bailey pinned and almost had her three pin knockout. But a couple of times Bailey got the upper hand and Lyra slipped out. And then she ended up pinning her with her own move, which is really interesting to see. Quite a feat in women's wrestling. Like I said, check it out on Netflix every Monday. You don't really need to watch weekly. You could start at any time. I recommend going back to the beginning if you guys haven't started and checking them all out because they're very interesting. They follow sagas and different mini stories. Um, but moving on from the ladies' fights, we also got to see uh, the World Tag Team Champion of the War Raiders, which I'm really a big fan of, the Vikings, go up against the Creed brothers, which was the All American Made. Now, these guys have kind of been heels throughout the show. Showing off have been kind of arrogant, All American wrestlers going up against these Viking brothers, who the War Raiders, who have been undefeated this entire season. And surprising enough, the Creed brothers pulled out a win for them, the All American made. So they're going to be a contender going forward with their team. So they've so far made up to their coach, or what do you want to call it, their leader, that they've gotten their heavyweight champions. Now the lady fighter has to win her Intercontinental Women's Heavyweight Championship, and then I believe Chad is coming back to take on Penta for future fights, which is interesting to see. Uh, but going on from there, I believe one of the last couple things was, of course, Logan Paul being introduced, smack talking CM Punk a little bit, because we got to see CM Punk as a big spokesman. A lot of people have been complaining about him being up there talking too much, but he's been talking about his goals and how he's wanted to get to this WrestleMania, and how he's wanted to win it all basically. And of course, we got to see him, or not see him. We got to see Logan Paul come out and diss him for, of course, kicking him out of Royal Rumble, and of him calling him out for his age and other things, saying that he's just a punk and that he's better a fighter than him. But then, of course, they weren't matching up that night. We got to see Logan Paul go up against uh, Rey Mysterio, which I didn't realize, but they mentioned before they had fought in an intercontinental match in Saudi Arabia in 2019, and Logan Paul had beaten Rey Mysterio before, which I didn't know. I thought Rey Mysterio was undefeated, which is interesting, fascinating to find all this stuff out, because I'm not very familiar on the topic. But we got to see them both brawl out, throw out some really cool moves. But eventually, we got to see Logan Paul was able to basically overwhelm Rey Mysterio and take him down, which I think is one of his first like official clean beats in the WWE universe, which is very cool to see, witness live in front of a booing audience, which he's complained about a lot. People booing him whenever he comes out on stage. I think he needs to win a couple matches before he gets a fandom building. But moving on from there, one of the last things we got was let's see. They've got New Days. The New Days came out on stage after Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio, and they throw in a couple of jabs to be relevant, as still they're on the show as heels. Still, the two brothers, New Days, which a lot of people don't like. They were booing him for uh, hitting Rey Mysterio while he was down. And of course, we're going to be seeing more of Kevin Owens coming back to go back for revenge against Sami Zayn for not having his back at Royal Rumble. We got to see a segment of that, a little bit of revenge built up, but it was very interesting. The coverage of the weekly Raw. I'm looking forward to the next week's episode. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to like this video. I've got a couple more topics before we finish off, but going into some comic book news, I got a few comic books that I'd like to go into. I've got to open this bag real quick, but there we go. Starting with this first one, we've got Justice League from 2016. Now, this, you can see, it has a little Suicide Squad informative sticker on it, because it has a little bit of pictures going into the 2016 Suicide Squad, which I thought this comic was really cool. We got to see multiple lanterns um, working together with the Justice League, trying to protect the Earth from a sentient virus that was trying to cultivate the Earth. It was affecting Atlantis, so Aquaman. There was a sort of hive mentality that was coming to conquer the planet, and there were seeds inside the Earth that the lanterns were trying to extract, because they were causing earthquakes. There's a little bit of Atlantis being destroyed. But yeah, fascinating comic that I thought was really cool to pick up. I've had these in my collection for a long time, and I just wanted to read a couple of them. So there's that one right there. I've also got pictures on my Instagram of these. If you guys are interested in checking those out, that's Screen Scene Guru. And you guys can also follow me now on Threads, because I just recently started my Threads account, and you guys can check me out there, making posts daily. So I definitely highly recommend me or you guys checking me out there. But moving into my last little comic, we've got the Mighty Thor from 1992, and this was an introduction of Mephisto, which I thought was really cool because we're going into that character in the MCU. So I wanted to read up on him a little bit. We also got to see Lady Sif fighting to earn back Thor's soul, which was an interesting concept. Right now, there's another guy betraying Thor. We also got to see Boulder the Brave, a little bit of Odin conspiring to get rid of this new Thor. Um, so a little bit of the same typical Thor drama going on with the Norse gods. But I like this comic a lot. Um, at the end, they kind of live it off on a cliffhanger because they retrieve a bag of what they believe is Thor's soul, and then of course it was Mephisto tricking them. So I'm gonna have to follow up on this with another Mighty Thor comic. But trying to find this particular page. Here it is, where the Warriors 3, where it included Lady Sith, but right now she's apart from them. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but they confront Odin, and Odin basically wipes out all of Thor's friends back in Asgard, which I thought was really funny. That they could have done a scene like that in the first Kenneth Branagh Thor, but they kind of waited to do that for uh Thor Ragnarok with Hela when she returned to Asgard. She killed all of Thor's friends. So I thought that was funny that they put that in this comic. Of course, they switched it up a little bit for the movie compared to the comic book. But if you guys are interested in checking this out, this is what this looks like. Um, and of course, the other one as well. There you go. A little bit better image of those comics. But thank you for sticking with me on this video. Stay tuned for future content down the road. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. But until next time, guys, have a good one, and ciao.